Hey everyone, we are back and we're headed into the Nep-Enut Habitat. Yep, the guide will show you how to find all of the Smiley Flowers and complete all of the discoveries in this stage. We've also added timestamps in this guide for all of the objectives in the stage if you want to jump ahead to a specific one. And when you're done, if you found the guide helpful, please toss a like at the video, and if you're not a subscriber to our channel, Derek's Gaming, we'd love to have you, so please consider subscribing. The support really helps our channel grow. Okay, before we roll up our sleeves and get into this stage, there is a little cutscene here at the beginning. And once again, we have to deal with Kamek and Bowser Jr. antagonizing poor little Yoshi and giving him a hard time. But that's okay, because we're going to get our revenge on these two guys later on in the stage. So they can keep yapping and running their mouths, we're going to take care of them in just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let's get started with these discoveries. The first one that we're going to do is to grab two of these little Nep-Enuts and combine them together on land and see what happens. And just like the name of this discovery implies, you cannot form bigger Nep-Enuts on land. Nope, doesn't work. And right here at the beginning of the stage, we can get the first Smiley Flower. To get the flower, we will first need an egg, so let's go make a Yoshi egg. If we head over to the other side of the tree, sitting on a branch is a Crazee Dayzee that we can gobble up to create an egg, and then we want to go back down to that little pool of water and then shoot the egg straight up into the tree to get the Smiley Flower. Okay, you may have already noticed there is a giant Nep-Enut floating in the water. Let's go jump on its head and do a ground pound. And these giant blobs are indestructible, no surprise there, so doing a ground pound just creates a shockwave beneath them. Next up, we're going to find out what happens when we feed one of these guys an apple. And would you look at that, their color changes to the same color as apple juice. Okay, another interesting thing about these Nep-Enuts is that they can continue to grow by adding more and more of the little Nep-Enuts to the big one. And there is a little one right here underwater stuck to a swordfish that's swimming back and forth. Ground pound down into the water to swipe the little Nep-Enut free. Okay, let's reset the stage. We are going to do this a couple times in this guide. It's just more efficient. And what we're going to do next is grab this can that's sitting underwater and stuff a little Nep-Enut inside of it. Yep, we're going to be doing all kinds of mad scientist experiments with these Nep-Enuts in this stage, and this is just the first of many where we try to see what happens when we do something weird with them. And there we go, we've created our prepackaged Nep-Enut. Okay, next up we're going to grow that big Nep-Enut even larger by tossing some more of the little ones into it. And for this discovery, we just need to gather up two of them to complete it. And we want this guy to keep on growing because we need him to be tall enough so that when he passes these flowers here above, he waters them. So we can hop onto the tree branch that has the flower buds on it and grab another little Nep-Enut and feed it to the big one. Oh, looks like that's not quite tall enough. We need one more, so let's grab the one that's stuck to the swordfish. And there we go, now it's tall enough to water the flowers. Now that we have a very, very large Nep-Enut, how about we try and make a massive one? I think we just need to add one more of the little guys to it, and we will have ourselves a massive Nep-Enut. Yep, and doing this guide with a straight face and not laughing out loud when you say things like massive Nep-Enut is a lot more difficult than it may seem. Okay, now let's go grab Smiley Flower number 2. We will find it over here on the right at the edge of a waterfall floating above a ship. And you can just bounce off this guy's head to reach the flower and grab it. And now it's time for some destruction. We can destroy the ship by doing a ground pound on top of the Nep-Enut's head. And now by doing that, we have cleared a path so that we can go down the waterfall. So let's ride down this waterfall, and at the bottom of the waterfall we will find a cave. And inside that cave is, yep, you guessed it, some more of those Nep-Enuts. And there is a whole bunch of different discoveries that can be completed inside of that cave. The first one that we're going to do is make one of those guys sing. Yep, hanging above these two guys are a bunch of notes. Just grab one of the notes and feed it to one of the Nep-Enuts to make it sing. And like we said, there is a lot more to do in this cave. We'll be coming back later to complete the other discoveries. But first, it's time to do a little mini-boss fight in this stage, and we'll be going up against our two favorite pals, yep, Kamek and Bowser Jr. But before this fight begins, we get to watch another cutscene. And look at that, there's that ship that we knocked off of the top of the waterfall earlier. So now Kamek's going to use his magic to transform that ratty old ship into a Bowser Jr. gunship with cannons on it. So what we need to do is just use our Nep-Enut friend over here to destroy the ship. And to do that, we just need to get close to the ship while we are riding on top of the Nep-Enut and then do a ground pound to create a shockwave to blast the ship to pieces. And each time that we hit the ship, it will change directions and start sailing towards us. We want to try and hit it one time when it's in the middle of the Nep-Enut. And then from this point on, we can simply try and corner it and then just keep hitting it over and over. And that's really all there is to this fight. It's very simple. And there we go. Once we have sunk the ship, we have completed the big discovery in this stage. So you can end your exploration here and move on to the next stage, but we're not going to do that. No, we are going to finish the rest of the discoveries in this stage so that we can 100% complete it. After completing the battle, if you look over to the right, sticking out from the cliffside is a wilted Smiley Flower. And all that we need to do is water it with the Nep-Enut to reveal the Smiley Flower. Okay, now let's make our way back to the cave that's behind the waterfall. There is another quick discovery that we can complete inside there. Yep, once we enter the cave, go back to where those two Nep-Enuts that were inside there are, and then do a ground pound on top of one of them to create a shockwave and hit the other. Okay, and with that done, now is a good time to restart the stage and do some more discoveries at the beginning. Yep, let's do one of the more obvious ones where we just have to eat a Nep-Enut to see what it tastes like. And it doesn't have much taste at all, nope, it just tastes like water. But there is a way to make them taste better. In fact, we can make them taste like apple juice. All we need to do is feed one of them 3 apples. And what a coincidence, it just so happens there are 3 apples in the stage that we can gather up, 1 in the crate that's floating in the water, and 2 more in the trees. And there we go, we've made some delicious apple juice. Okay, why don't we keep experimenting with these Nep-Enuts? The next thing that we're going to do is feed one of the little ones to a Crazee Dayzee. And more specifically, we're going to grab the Crazee Dayzee that makes the hot peppers bloom, because after this discovery, we're going to do one that involves feeding the Nep-Enuts hot peppers. Yep, and it should come as no surprise that one of the favorite foods of a Crazee Dayzee flower is water. Okay, now let's get back to the peppers. We've bloomed a whole lot of them in the stage, and now we want to feed a bunch of peppers to the Nep-Enut to see what color it changes to. And this does require that you first feed enough apples to it to turn it into apple juice before you start feeding it the peppers. Yep, and it looks like the combination of apples and peppers have given this guy understandably a stomach ache. So one way to cure him of that ailment is to try and toss an egg at him, and let's see what happens when we do that. And would you look at that, if you hit a big one with an egg, a little one pops out. Okay, once again, it's time to head back to the cave behind the waterfall. And for these next 2 discoveries, we are going to create a new variant of the Nep-Enuts. Yep, we're going to create muddy versions of these guys. So we just need to break apart one of these guys by tossing eggs at them like we just did earlier, and then pick up the pieces that pop out and throw them into the mud pool. And then you can combine them to form a muddy Nep-Enut. Also, by stacking 3 of them together, you can complete the made a larger Nep-Enut discovery at the same time. And finally, by adding a 4th one to this muddy pile, you can get Smiley Flower number 3. Okay, we're heading back to the start of the stage, and next up we're going to feed a Nep-Enut 3 hot peppers and see what happens. And in order to complete this, you want to make sure that you are not feeding one that has 8 apples already. Yep, just feed a fresh one the peppers. And there we go, we have created one spicy Nep-Enut. Okay, we are almost done. It's time for the final 2 discoveries in the stage, and yep, we're headed back to the cave behind the waterfall. And for these final 2 discoveries, we are going to be forming a band. Yep, a musical jam band of Nep-Enuts. How about that? And one thing we should mention, make sure that you have loaded up on eggs before you start riding down to the waterfall. You will need them for this discovery. Okay, so as you remember, there are 2 Nep-Enuts inside the cave already. We need to create a 3rd one to join the band. And the way we do that is tossing eggs at this big guy and then taking the little ones that pop out and bringing them into the cave to form a 3rd Nep-Enut. And we want to make sure when we create this 3rd one that we create it out of 3 of the little Nep-Enuts so that it is tall enough for us to be able to reach the notes that are hanging above. And once we have all 3 of these guys formed, we have created the world's first Nep-Enut jam band. Now let's make some music. So we just need to grab 3 musical notes and feed 1 to each of the members of the jam band. Oh yeah, and first take care of these bunch of bees. They are really annoying. And yep, that completes the last discovery in the stage, and it also 100% completes the Nep-Enut Habitat. And this also brings us to the end of our guide. It was a long one, but we hope you found it helpful. We had a lot of fun playing this stage and making this guide, that's for sure. So that's all for this one, folks. Thanks for watching, and we will see you at the next stage.